Alrighty, y'all. So today we're going to be taking a look at obviously Summer Helm. Now we did Summer Anissa showcase earlier, and I want to show you guys Summer Helm. So Summer Helm is a character that a lot of people might want to get their hands on just because she's limited, and she does have use, right? So obviously one thing about Summer Helm is that I would say she is, in reality, in terms of just general value, I would say out of all the current banners art right now, being Ein, Rosanna, Summer Anissa, and then obviously Summer Helm, I would say that Helm probably falls like short. I would say she's probably the least important character out of the four. I do think she's pretty good because she has some good mechanics, mainly being obviously cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is always great in general, right? And you don't even have to use her burst skill, you just have to enter a full burst, right? I think what they were going for with her kit, they kind of flopped there, because if you don't know, she's meant to be a DPS. That's her whole gimmick, right? She's supposed to be a DPS. Every 4 seconds she's just gonna do random damage to one random enemy, and then on her burst skill she'll do damage of 100% to all enemies, and then additional damage if they are, of course, an electric code character, right? But besides that, again, I don't think she's really that crazy of a DPS because she's a burst 2. I'm saying because she's a burst 2, but I don't know if the burst 2 has anything to really do with that. I think her percentages are just very, very short, right? But she has really cool effects, right? Cooldown reduction, and what I find to be the most important effect is, of course, this right here, the damage taken by 4% that stacks up to 5 times. I think the max at level 10 is like 25%, but here it's a permanent 20% currently for me. Permanent 20% damage taken buff to an electric code enemy, mainly gonna be a boss, right? Because it's one enemy, right? It's just permanent after about 20 seconds or something like that, because that's the proc 5 times, right? So we're gonna use her full iron team on the solo raid because this is the only boss out right now where I can actually try this out and stuff like that. I think she's pretty good though, for those reasons, right? If you're struggling with bosses, especially the electrical bosses, I think her having this effect is really freaking good, right? It's just a permanent damage taken like thing, right? And you can have more with other characters as well, right? Remember, she doesn't have to use her burst skill or anything to proc any of these, right? So if you take a look up here, right now she's at the boss is at 2. You can't really see because it's kind of going up and down, but the boss is at 2 damage reduction. Now the boss is at 3 damage reduction, right? Now the boss is at 4 damage reduction. So the boss is currently now at a total of 50, or not 50, 20% damage like taken, not damage reduction, my bad, damage taken. So the boss right here takes 20% more damage, right? Not to mention everybody here is type advantage against this enemy, so you can see all these characters are gonna go crazy, right? It's just gonna keep rocking, and that's kind of like the crazy thing about this enemy right here, right? It's just gonna keep rocking, and it's just permanently up, and I do think that is very, very cool. That's what I do like a lot about this boss, a lot, right? Cooldown reduction is also coming in clutch. Obviously, having Glitter on the team and this character, that's a good comp you can run together. Both of them do have damage reduction, and both of them are iron, so if you are going to be fighting an electric code enemy, obviously these two are not, like, these two together are not a bad choice, so you guys can do that as well. We're not using her like actual, because look at her damage, right? 27 million. She's on par with Litter, and she's a character who's doing damage. Even if we're not using her burst skill, she still does damage on her second and first skill, and it's quite efficient too. It's like every 4 seconds on her second skill and every 60 normal attacks on her first skill, right? So it's kind of like what's going on type shit, right? It's like what's happening right now? Don't die. But yeah, I think the big thing that I like about her is the damage taken. Debuff on the enemy permanently, right? Remember, it's only 2 electric code enemies, right? So because it's only 1 boss, that's why it's here. Now, one thing you guys do gotta note is that it's randomly, I believe, right? Or it's whoever she's attacking or something like that. I don't think it goes to just one enemy. So let's say I'm fighting a boatload of mobs, right? Not one mob will get all 5. I'm pretty sure it's I'm not sure exactly when it comes to mobs. It might, I'm pretty sure it's random. 1 million. It's been so long since I've used her, but I'm pretty sure it's random, right? Until the enemy dies, and then it will switch and switch. So trying to fight this character with, or trying to fight a boss with mobs, or just mobs in general with this character, just might not be the play, right? Just might not be the play. Like, I doubt we're gonna beat it here or anything like that, obviously, but the whole point is just kind of showcase it. We got a boatload of damage, bro. My Laplace and my Red Hood are on, like, kind of on par, bro, which is, I don't want to say it's crazy, but it is quite crazy. right? I mean, Laplace and Red Hood, like, bro, how much times have changed, bro? We never used to look at freaking Laplace and be like, oh, wow, she could finally do damage or anything like that, right? And we have all these bombs coming in and shit right there, but I do like it. It's just permanent. You don't have to do anything. She doesn't have to attack or anything. It's just every 4 seconds, and that's what I like the most, right? Well, I'm not worried about this shield because the shield is gonna break. I don't think we're gonna kill, but we got pretty off, a decent amount off with this team. How much did Helm do? 20. Oh my god. Her damage is a bit iffy, I will say. We could do a run where we're just using her burst skill, actually. We can do that. Like, I have Crown on the team. Let's do a run where we're just using Helm's burst skill, right? I think this is a bit embarrassing, though. I do. I really do think that's a bit embarrassing, especially since she's meant to be a DPS, right? You gotta remember, she's not meant to be a... Like, she's a DPS. She's a DPS. I don't know what you guys want from me, bro. She's a DPS. And that's where it's like, type shit, right? It's like, type shit. Let me just put like Moderni or someone on the team if I can. Just to fill out that last burst 3 slot. But this is the comp I'm going to run here, right? And we're just going to take a look at her damage. She's not getting buffed by Crown or anything like that because it's kind of hard to buff up both her and Crown. I guess, actually, I could put Crown on the team, right? I could get Crown on the team. We wouldn't be getting Crown's full buff, but I could put Crown on the team. I could, because remember, Crown gives an attack buff for anybody who's using their burst skill, right? And obviously, because she's on the 20-second cooldown, she's always going to be using her burst skill. So let me put Crown on the team, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about this effect right here. This right here. She gives a 64% attack buff for 15 seconds to anybody who uses their burst skill. That's going to be very helpful, right? The shield and stuff like that we're not going to get. We will get the attack damage buff when she does use, or I guess when she gets her effect off, right? The little immunity buff. When she gets that off and she heals and it stacks up, we will get that here and there. But every time we use our burst skill, she will be actually getting that massive attack buff from Crown as well, right? So skill that I think a lot of people like just look over. So right now, Helm is at 1.1 million, right? And there you go. We're gonna actually just wait until the full burst is done to see. So 1.1 million with all these attack buffs and your burst skill to what? She has full Elysian gear. Like, her attack right now is 70k and stuff like that. So it really is just the percentages, I think. That's what hurts this character. I don't think the cooldown reduction, I think the cooldown reduction is great. I think the damage taken increase is great. But I don't know if that's more than enough for me to want to summon for this character, right? I think her having those abilities and her being a limited is what makes me want to summon. I would say, actually. That is what I would say. I would say her being a limited and then having those two effects is what makes me want to have her. If she had those effects and she wasn't a limited, I wouldn't care one bit, right? But having those abilities, remember, there's not many burst 2 characters with cooldown reduction. The only other character I could think of is like Dala, right? Maybe there's another one. I'm not sure. I'm only thinking of Dala right now. You guys let me know in the comments if there's another one that's not Dala. Or this Helm. That's a burst 2, because I know you guys are going to say volume later. The burst 2, right? But overall, her damage is I mean, like, I think if she was another burst, obviously with all the buffs from Crown, you could probably get something going. But other than that, I really don't see how it's possible. I really don't see how it's possible for this character to like really get out damage. Overload gear seems like a waste. If I have to sell my soul for this character to start putting up numbers, then I don't want it, right? Because there's a lot of characters who are heavily invested, but you get good value at them. Like, I would say the only character that's worth selling your soul for, obviously none of them, but I mean, like, Alice is a good definition of a character where it's like she requires so much investment, but you get such good rewards out of doing that. For this character, I don't think she's going to be getting it. Same thing as Guillotine. Guillotine's another character where when you fully invest into her, you get actually good DPS, right? For Helm, it's not the same thing in my opinion. So I'm gonna just have to, like, unfortunately, just say she's the worst one. Do you need this character? Not necessarily. There's a lot of cooldown reduction characters and they don't have to be burst 2s, right? And then again, if you're not fighting an electric code boss, her damage taken debuff on them is not really that crazy, right? In general, right? It's just good against electric coded bosses. Other than that, I would say skip. I mean, I would say get her just because she's limited, right? But if you don't care about any of that, then skip, right? That's really it. But damage output isn't that great. I'm not gonna level it up fully. I'm just not. 444. If she's lucky, I want to get her 555s, but like these percentages, even at level 4, these percentages are so low. So at level 10, it's just a waste, right? If it's not good at level 5, then it's just a waste at level 10. It's just how it is. But you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. Your boys, I'm gonna see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.